Now, I did notice on the last video for last week, I believe it was Richard, somebody in the group asked a question on that video, and when I went back to the video, it was no longer there, okay? So for whatever reason, that was just like a glitch this morning and it wasn't showing up, then feel free to ask it on this video, and I'll make sure to A, respond, and also make it for the next video when we do the Q&A, right? But I'm assuming, it was deleted, or maybe you came across the answer for that question, so it's not needed to be answered anymore. So let's just jump in. First and foremost, Deb says, you've probably already answered this one and I've either not come across it yet or have forgotten. There's so much information to grasp. My apology if that's the case. I've received many offers on products I've listed, but I have not responded because I hope someone will purchase it at full price. How long do you wait to send an offer after receiving likes? So there's really no, set formula and recommendation. It's kind of just like a gut feeling. Now, if your main goal is to sell them at full price, then by all means be patient. For me specifically, it usually depends, right? Like I'll list a bunch of things, and it probably also depends on how many listings you have, but I'll list a bunch of things, I'll list them relatively high to accumulate interest, and then I'll slowly drop the price and slowly make offers to likers via the promote button, right? So I'll slowly drop the price site-wide, or I'll slowly drop the price or make an offer to a liker, right? Because once you make, let's say you list an item on Mercari for, I don't know, did you say Mercari or Poshmark or both? So for Mercari specifically, you can only, if you have an item that's listed for 20 bucks and you make like a $19 offer, which you wouldn't, but for this example, right? Then you can never make a $19 offer on that item again, right? The next one has to be 18 or lower. So it really depends on how you want to kind of approach it. If you're willing to wait and be patient, then I would say make them, sporadically here and there if your items aren't moving as fast. For me specifically, I like to list them high and then slowly mark them down until I get a sale. As long as I'm still profitable, I kind of know intuitively what I purchased that for or what I got it for, if it was a cashback product, a liquidation product, a coupon product, or whatever. So I kind of know my break-even price and what I'm willing to go to, and as long as I'm somewhat above that and profitable, I'm good with it, right? Obviously, you'd like to make more of a profit, and that's great, but also when you're starting a Mercari account, you kind of want to make sales to get a bunch of reviews so your account gets more ranked and you look better, so buyers just buy with you, or buyers buy from you with trust. Now, if it's Poshmark or if it's eBay, for example, then the same kind of goes with it, although with those specifically, you can constantly make offers to likers with Poshmark, so you don't have to relist something if you go too low like you would on Mercari. On Mercari, if you list let's say you make an offer for 18 bucks, then 17 bucks. Slowly you'll make offers all the way down, and if you don't convert somebody, it'll go all the way down to 6 bucks. Then just relist it. You can always relist that item and build the interest back up and eventually make the sale. So it ends up being about patience in the long run, depending on the item. Now, Poshmark, for example, you can always make, let's say you listed at 30 bucks and you slowly accumulate likers on that, you can always make you can make an offer randomly one day for 15 bucks. Then the next day or a few days later, you can make an offer for 25 bucks, right? So there's no limit to the amount of offers and the price of those offers that you can send out to likers. Now, with eBay specifically, what my main kind of strategy with eBay was list very, very high, be patient, and then slowly drop the price about 10% roughly so that the likers get notified that the price has dropped. So approach it differently for each platform, but ultimately it kind of depends on your goals, right? Are you more interested in the cash flow and making the sale quickly to recoup some of your money but yet stay profitable? Then make more offers to likers, under the realization that you could always relist it higher if you want to or if you had to. However, if your main goal is to make profit and you're okay with waiting a little bit longer, then make sporadic, slow offers to likers, very, very low, very, very close to what the price is, and don't ever really go below that, and just be patient, right? Eventually somebody probably will buy it if it's a good item and you have a good listing. It's just a matter of finding the right buyer at the right time and being patient. So that's my kind of overall approach to it, Deb. I hope that helps, but the main answer there is it really depends on your goals, right? Either patient and sell high, or a little bit less patient but make the sale and get the money back relatively quick so you can buy more products. Next question, Jacob asks, for sending things into FBA, If the items are individually bubble wrapped, should I apply the labels to bubble wrap or on the item? Thanks. So this is a question I get asked a lot, especially for, you know, people that are shipping products into FBA, like where they're not ordering from like a wholesale company and they actually have to receive the products and ship them into FBA themselves. So that's like the retail arbitrage sourcing on websites like that and retail sites with software. That's like the books. That's a little bit of liquidation here and there. So what you basically want to do is you want to put it on the outside, right? So if it's bubble wrap, put it on the outside. If it's, you know, a poly bag, put it on the outside. Although if there's one of the things that I would say about that, and this is rare, but if there's like a poly bag on like a book, for example, what you want to do is you want to put the barcode, the ASIN barcode, that like sticker on the outside. But if for whatever reason the barcode on like the book inside is showing, if you can see through, you also want to put an empty Avery label or an empty, you know, something to cover that up so nobody scans that. Now, most obviously, you know, workers in an Amazon FBA warehouse are not going to scan that. They're going to know intuitively, obviously, not to do that. But you just want to kind of take the onus off them and make sure that they're scanning the right barcode, okay? So in short, you want to put it on the outside, but that's assuming that there's bubble wrap or poly bag kind of, you know, blocking you from putting it on the product. If not, then put it directly on the product and cover the old barcodes. So next question, for a listing with a variation, how can I distinguish the sales for that variation of the product? So it depends. I'm assuming you're using Jungle Scout. Most people in the course are, and it's something I highly, highly recommend that you invest in. It's super cheap. For whatever reason too, with Jungle Scout, like they still have the light version of Jungle Scout, which is $9.99 a month, I believe, but for whatever reason they hide it. Now, knowing like selling information products like I do, the reason that I would assume that they do that is because they have people like me on the light plan. So they don't want to delete the light plan because then they would stop losing those subscriptions from people like me that have purchased the light plan, right? But they no longer want people to potentially go in and buy that light plan. So I'm assuming that's why they hit it, right? So it's still active, but like new customers can't really find it, okay? So if you just Google, and this has been true for I think about like half a year now since they kind of like hit it. If you just Google Jungle Scout light extension version, you can probably find the landing page for that and get the light version for $9.99. Now, if you can't find it, then just go with the normal extension version, which I think is $19.99 if you pay yearly. So it's still relatively cheap, but I highly recommend Jungle Scout to everybody if you're not using it, right? So the answer to that is if you just click the Jungle Scout extension, then you can see the variations on that product. You can see the parent listing, and you know, obviously if it has a bunch of variations there, it's gonna be like grayed out with like a little dash. But then you'll also see the variations below that, and you'll be able to see the specific product data and the sales data and the sales numbers for those specific variations. So just make sure that if you're sourcing a variation, you're lining it up with the actual specific product data in the Jungle Scout data. Now, every once in a while I have noticed, because I've seen so many products, that some of the variations are also grayed out. So in those specific cases, if you're sourcing for a variation and a specific product listing and the data is grayed out and you can't find it somewhere else, remember, don't go off the parent listing. That's not what you want to go off of. But if for whatever reason the Jungle Scout data is not showing up for that variation, then just avoid that product and find something else. So great questions, guys. I hope that helps.